Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the wake up call. How's everyone feeling out of 10? It's myself and Alex. We go over crypto news analysis and our weird takes. So, with that, we'll let Alex take the floor.
Okay, I won't say how I'm feeling out of 10, so let's dive on into this. I don't have any witty answer anyway, so you got my screen?
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
We're rusty. We took last week off.
Yeah, that was my fault. I had this swimmer's ear that was driving me absolutely crazy. Okay, so nothing's changed. If you watch our live stream from 2 weeks ago, nothing has changed
Goodbye.
with my perspective. So, all right, see you later. Have a good weekend. No, here's my thing. I got in 2025, I got sucked in a little too much to the masses, what the masses were thinking. I had my thoughts, I had my perspective. I should have stuck with my perspective, which was just I mean, in some ways I did. I wasn't a moon boy. I was hopeful. And I think it's always good to be hopeful. This time around, I am sticking with what I believe and 100%. And this is just how it's going to be. And the reason why I'm saying that is, like, at the end of 2025, everyone was so confident that everything was going to go so much higher. It made sense because post-halving year, that's how it always goes, right? Well, here we are in February of 2028, almost March 2026, excuse me. And everyone is so confident that Bitcoin is going down to the 40,000s, maybe even the 30s. And that is what the masses are saying. And I just don't see it. I do not see. I mean, if they end up being right, fine. I will not complain, because that means that some cryptos like Solana, I think, is going to be at an extreme discount. But I'm quite convinced they're not right. And so my perspective is, I think we are going to touch the 200-week moving average. We might even spend some time there, decent amount of time there, maybe even spend a few weeks below there. But the 200-week moving average is $58,500 and rising. Maybe a wick below to 55,000, something like that. I'm open to that. Maybe even a little bit lower than that. And that's going to be the bottom for Bitcoin. I am more open. I don't think Bitcoin has bottomed, but I am open to Ethereum possibly having bottomed. I am actually, I do believe with a lot more confidence that XRP has bottomed, that 112 was the bottom for XRP. Now, what does that mean for other altcoins? There's a lot of altcoins that can continue to go down. Your number 75 market cap random crypto with terrible tokenomics. Let me block MP. Give me a second. I'm just not no BS today.
The holes are getting blocked.
Yeah. and so it could still be, even if XRP has bottomed, and even if Ethereum's bottomed, even if Bitcoin's bottomed, 90% of cryptos could still go down. So that I am of a mindset willing to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP right now, and a handful of others. But in terms of like the bottom, I think we're close, time wise and dollar wise. So I mean, look at the RSI on the weekly chart. Looking at the RSI, when was the last time that Bitcoin's RSI was this low? Was June of 2022. And that was Bitcoin.
That was the selling climax.
Bitcoin did end up going lower.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin went to 15 and change, but it put in a higher low in the RSI. And so it gave us a very nice bullish divergence on the weekly chart. So again, same deal. I think that we are going to put in a lower low in the price, but a higher low in the RSI on the weekly chart. And that's going to give us a very nice bullish divergence for Bitcoin. Same deal for Ethereum. If we look at Ethereum's RSI on the weekly chart, and same deal, 2018. The last time that RSI was this low before then was the selling climax in 2018. Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum's RSI. Ethereum it did not go down as much as 2022 or 2018, but it's lower right now on the weekly chart than it has been. Those are the only other two times that Ethereum was at this level for the RSI. So, do I remember Klodsky, a blue check mark? Are you trolling me here? You remember when you said AOS was going to $3? I'm sure I gave some kind of price target for that. I would compare that price target to price targets that a lot of other people gave. My price targets were a lot more conservative. So, but when, again, for Ethereum's RSI, when was that? That was June of 2022. That was the bottom for Ethereum. And the price didn't even put in a higher low after the FTX collapse. It didn't even go lower. So, so structurally, things are looking very similar to what we were looking at in 2022. So then make it make sense that we're going to $40,000 or $45,000 or $38,000. This is, I think the thing that so many people are caught up on is the fact that it's happened so early. Because it's supposed to happen in June. The selling climax is supposed to happen in June. But here we are. It happened in February. So one other thing. So again, I don't know how long that's going to take. Devin has some perspective, lunar eclipse, all that, which I'll let you share when we get to you.
I'm not a witch, by the way, guys.
What's that? Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah. I'll let you cover that. I think this is going to take a while, and I think when we get to the bottom, if we haven't already, that it's going to be a couple months of chop would be next. That we're not doing a V-shaped recovery. You might have a different perspective on that, Devin. It is what it is. I mean, we are allowed to disagree with each other, but I don't know.
I hope so. Hope so.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we have time. I wouldn't just like ape in all the way right now. Pino, I responded to your comment about Proton. Please read that. The other thing that I would say is, oh shoot, I'm on the wrong chart. Am I? Oh man, I don't know where I put this chart. It happens, right? But there was a Riot blockchain priced in Bitcoin chart that I wanted to look at. Here it is. I would love to draw your attention to Bitcoin miners, guys. Bitcoin miners. We just got news yesterday. Marathon Industries partnered with something to lease out they have all the infrastructure for AI data centers. All the infrastructure. They have Riot blockchain. They have a gigawatt of capacity. A gigawatt is enough power to power the state of Texas, all the residences in the state of Texas for 3 months. That's their capacity. And they in AI data, like Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, they're partnering with Bitcoin miners right now. So we need to get out of this mindset that Bitcoin miners are going to be correlated to Bitcoin. They are significantly going to, I don't know, maybe I won't throw the word out significantly. I think significantly, but I'm not going to say that with as much confidence. They are going to outperform Bitcoin moving forward. We're seeing them hold up very well. They are being dragged down a little bit by Bitcoin's price, but if Bitcoin is close to the bottom or already has bottomed, then that means that they're going to be propped up by Bitcoin's price moving up, and they're going to do very well. So I'm pretty bought into Riot. I have several of the miners. I have Marathon. I have Cypher Mining, IREN. This chart that I'm showing on my screen right now, in my opinion, is very nice. This is a weekly chart, so these are weekly candles. It's nice.
That looks like accumulation to me.
Yeah, yeah. So, Devin.
I'll just say, so someone said, so what are you guys saying? So I'll just tell you exactly my game plan and what I think, and then we'll look at the charts. Essentially, I put it out a few days ago. I think Bitcoin was at 62, 63K. I bought a big chunk of my available capital on the 5th, I believe it was, whenever that big crazy flash crash was. I think it was the 5th. Yeah, the 5th of February, I bought about 25%. I bought XRP around $1.20 average, and I bought Bitcoin about 62K average price. Okay. Now, that being said, so what am I doing right now? And then I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I am allocating 1% of my available capital because I sold 100% of my silver after accumulating for 8 years. I have sold 100% of my gold. I have sold 100% of my silver. I sold a big chunk at $78. I sold a big chunk at $107, about the average price of $95 after accumulating at about $20. So I have some dry powder. A lot of it was for taxes. It's not going to be as much as I anticipated it was going to be, and I plan to get an extension. So I am allocating 1% daily until the 15th. I'm about 27% in of my available capital right now, and I'm going to allocate 1% daily until the 15th. If no major event has happened between now and the 15th of March, I will ramp up the DCA to where I plan to be 100% allocated by April 1st. You'll regret this. Okay. Well, last time I have a video of me literally buying as the lunar eclipse or as FTX was going to zero. I have limit orders being filled at 18,500, 18,000. And they told me the same thing. And I was pumped. I had fasted 9 days in preparation consecutively because we were talking about the lunar eclipse. Now, so I'm going to be allocating 1% daily. If we get a sweep low, which I was more open-minded to before, but because of this Jane stuff, I think it's probably going to happen. I think we're probably going to sweep the lows over here. Let me pull up my chart.
Yeah, I was waiting.
We have major volume coming in on the daily chart. And so I was more open-minded that we were going to sweep these lows here at $60,000. With all this Jane Street stuff happening right before the lunar eclipse, I think that we probably will actually sweep it around the lunar eclipse. So if there's a major event that happens between now and the 15th, then I'm going to put a big chunk, probably 10, 15% at a time. And I don't care where Bitcoin goes. So the last bear market I accumulated at the average price of $22,000. I bought some at 18, I bought some at 17, I bought some at 25, but the average price was $22,000. And the same for XRP was 33 cents. So I'm allocating 50% of my DCA to Bitcoin, and then I'm buying some of the blue chips. I think that Ethereum has more likely already bottomed. XRP, I think, has more likely already bottomed, so I'm DCAing into those. Some VeChain, some Link, and some other coins, some venture capital plays as well. All right. That being said, so I think that a formation of the bottom is happening. That is my personal opinion, and I don't really care what you think. Or if you think that, people are telling me like I'm waiting till October to buy, and it's like, I believe you. You know why? Because I think that we are more likely to be at an all-time high in October than we are at a new low. And I agree with Alex that this idea that we're going to go into the 38Ks is nonsense. And my friend Josh calls it the bull market begets the bear market. That's what he calls it. I call it balance. And here's the deal.
Let me go on record saying I do not believe we'll be at all-time highs in October, but I hope you're right.
Well, I think it's more likely. I think we're going to have like a 2023 year this year.
Yeah.
Where we're just kind of grueling up, putting in higher lows. Either way, like the best buying opportunity, in my opinion, is between now and April. And I'll be on record for saying that. So from the C19 crash until, here's the part that people are not, putting into perspective. From the C19 crash until the top in 2021, Bitcoin went up 2,000%. Okay. From the absolute bottom to the absolute top, from wick to wick, Bitcoin is up a 7x. What does that mean? That means there is exponentially less to give back. Okay, so the market is all about balance and finding the balance. And then also, we have already slammed to the 200-week moving average. Now, can we like fill it out all the way like Alex thinks? I think that's pretty probable, or it's going to keep rising as we keep chopping. But I do think that we will fully test and touch the 200-week moving average. But that's the best buying opportunity. Like, just look at any time we're at the 200-week moving average throughout the history. So over here, it was at 22,000 through the whole bear market. 24,000, 27,000 was the highest it got before it went off and away. Like, so if you average that out, you would have bought at $24,000. Are you happy with a $24,000 entry on Bitcoin right now? I know that I am. Or how about the last bear market? At no point did we go below the 200-week moving average. At no point. And the previous bear market before that, same thing. At no point did we go below the 200-week moving average. Never. Now, there was a lot of nonsense that was purged in this. People think, I don't think that there needs to be big sacrifices like I thought in 2022. Like, I literally fasted 9 days, 4 months in advance in preparation for the November lunar eclipse, in preparation, because I was excited as it was happening, because I was aware it was the 7th year. It was the Shemitah year. That is not what we have right now. It's not a Shemitah year. Lots of stuff was purged last cycle. FTX was purged. Voyager was purged. BlockFi was purged. What else? Celsius. There's Luna. There was all this stuff that went to zero and purged from the market. That does not exist anymore. Okay. It doesn't exist. I think that the purging will be reserved for the next 7th year in 2029. That is my personal opinion. So that's what I'm doing with my capital. In the last bear market, I accumulated at $22,000 average price, and I accumulated XRP at 33 cents. Do with that information what you will. And so I was less leaning towards we're going to sweep the lows until this Jane stuff happened. I have never heard of Jane in my entire life, except for one time. And then all of a sudden, it's the talk of the town right before the lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse is in 4 days. So, there's a real setup there that it could really catch people in the worst way. And we even talked about it in my Telegram. As we traded, we didn't catch that whole move, but we caught a little bit of it. Just talking about, here's what no one is prepared for. A full extension on Bitcoin to 72K, which we ended up going to 70.62K. That could be it. 72K, and then rolling over to 58K, and then that's it. Like, everyone is going to get caught by that. Like, who is prepared for that move? Who is prepared for the move of putting in a slight higher high over here, coming down, putting in a slight lower low, and then that being it? Because I'm not predicting that that's what's going to happen, but I'm very open-minded to that being what's going to happen, because a lot of people are like, see you at 38K. And it's just like the amount of, the scheduled October bottom at below 50K. Can't wait for it. But this is the doctrine, the 4-year cycle doctrine. So that's my opinions. And then I've tweeted this out on the 24th. Says, I'm pushing the chips forward. Let me be clear. I have no interest in buying the wick low dollar. I want to be in the correct flavor, like last bear market. I will DCA 1% of my available capital until the 15th. After the 15th, if a big event hasn't happened, I will be more aggressive. If it happens between now and then, I will accelerate the DCA. In addition, I have limit orders for Bitcoin at 62K and 58K. Do with this information what you will. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Yeah. The most I want to be. I don't know how to word this. Like I want to. I always want to take in information that disagrees with my base case. And I think a compelling argument from those who do believe it's going to 40K or 38K is that if you lined up fib charts from whatever the peak was, every bear market, Bitcoin has gone down to the 786 level. And so a 786 would be, I think, 41K or something like that. And so a wick below that, maybe we go to 39, 38K. So, okay, you know what? That's a compelling argument. I think another compelling argument would be, hey, stock market, people are claiming it looks weak right now, and crypto is not going to be able to withhold or withstand a stock market move down. And so therefore we're going to go lower. Those are the two best arguments that I've heard. An argument that I'm just going to roll my eyes at is, well, this is how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
October is when it's supposed to bottom.
The scheduled bottom.
The scheduled bottom. Yeah, I think just in the same way that 2025 wasn't what so many people thought it was going to be, I would encourage you to think outside the box a little bit and think that maybe 2026 isn't what everyone thinks it's going to be. Especially with altcoins, because, is there a world where Bitcoin could, it peaked on October 6th. Could it then bottom on October? Sure. But altcoins are just, they've been in a bear market for so long, and we're not dealing with the same level of unwinding incredible excess. Like the excesses of the response to COVID, the excesses of 0% interest rates. We're not doing that this time around. We're not having to go from easing to tightening. We're going from tightening to easing. And so that would communicate to me that 2026 is just going to be different. And it's going to be different in some way. If we're wrong about Bitcoin, we're not wrong about altcoins. I will stamp my flag there.
Yeah.
Which I know that sounds, but altcoins are correlated to Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah, right.
It can go down. Shocking. I know. But what were you going to say?
I was just going to read a comment. What if Trump bombs Iran and silver rockets? To me, that would be like the event where it's like, okay, I'm pushing the chips forward. People think, I saw a comment that said, like, if Iran war escalates, that will be the catalyst to send us another leg lower. To me, no, it's not. It's the catalyst to signal that that's it.
That's the bottom.
Every single war, if you look at the history, like, I can show you how a war was correlated to a local bottom. So 9/11, 2023, this was the lowest point that Bitcoin went, 24K. That was it. And then off to Neverland we went. Then you had the war in Ukraine was somewhere in here. Yeah, like there's every single time it's a war. War is good for the economy. It's evil, it's gross, but it's good for the economy.
I think during that long range in 2024, there was peak fear during a war. Maybe with Israel.
It might have been the July bottom.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a July, like some sort of event. I don't remember.
I mean, Germany sold Bitcoin in July on the 4th of July, very illiquid day.
Right.
So it might have been before that, but I don't know.
They're still not up on that sell, by the way.
Yeah.
Like they're still wrecked. So yeah. I just think like we're getting to a point of risk reward where it just doesn't matter. Like if you and I've said this a lot, but it's like if you set this up like a trade, and let's say you're right. Let's say you're from the future and Bitcoin's going to 40. Let's say it's going to 50K. That's 23%. Okay, well, like the upside is a 3-4x on Bitcoin, and it's like, would you risk $1,000 for 23% gain if your downside risk is losing $4,000? No, I wouldn't. I would like that trade the other way. I would like to set up that trade as many times as possible the other way, risking
Yeah.
23% for a 4x. I will set that up 1,000 times. And like I'm fine if it goes below, like great. If silver goes to 130, awesome. I'm pumped for anyone who still holds silver. I do not care because like the difference between $107 and 130 versus the risk reward on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is it's laughable. It literally is laughable. And so I feel like we're in that 18K range. Can we get a sweep low? Sure. But like the bottom is forming, like the structural bottom, the sentiment. The volume is as high as it's been since the Japan rate cut. The RSI, like Alex talked about, is um, as low as 2022. Ethereum is as low as it's been since 2018. Like there's just signs screaming all around us, and Ethereum again like continues to interact with this trend line. Even when we flash down here, guess where we bounced right off of? Like, I mean, we nailed it. 1800 is the low that we got. Um, this is one of the reasons why I think pretty confidently. So we went to 1799. I feel pretty confident that Ethereum's bottom. Look at the volume coming in on Ethereum. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. The amount of volume that's coming in on Ethereum is more than that of the April low. And then also, like I'll keep talking about this, but the June low to the FTX low was a 23% difference. Like, hear me out, guys. Check this out. The April low to the February low was a 23% difference. So I'm not saying that this moment is this moment, but there are signs to say that, hey, this is a really, really, really good value. And I think that greed shows up the other way. So listen, you
Yeah.
do whatever you want. I'm a guy in my basement. What the heck do I know? Do what your rank can handle, as they say, but I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Yeah. I know most of you guys are really cool. I hope you understand. I mean, we'll get the hate from people, both of us will, saying like, "Oh, you're always wrong." And all right, even if that was true, which it's not, there's the receipts of just like buying low and selling high.
Yeah,
for both of us. And it's
literally.
like, if you bought, even though 2025 sucked, if you bought in the bear market 2022, and even if you bought early, oh no, you bought too early.
You bought at 20K.
You won.
Literally.
And you sold in 2024 or 2025. Like you won. And I'm not just talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about like there was this guy who wanted me to mentor him, an 18-year-old kid, did all the dumb money stuff, all the stupidest stuff in early 2024, bought all the flashy toys thinking that they were going to do a 100x. I got to the end of 2025 and I checked the spreadsheet that I set up for him, and he was still up on those buys.
Like, right.
On average. I mean, there were plenty that he was down on. Okay, so like for those who are in here just wanting to hate, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry.
Here you go. I got some receipts and I'm not sorry for her. So here you go. You wrecked your followers, Ski. I sold XRP in Botland January
Yeah.
25th, 2025. And then I have another one for you. Uh, for all the idiots who were saying, like, I'm copying other creators about the blood moon. Here's when FTX was going to zero and I was live streaming it, pumped, jacked, and pumped in the craziest way possible. I'm showing like this is a video of me showing it's a loop, it's a matrix loop of a video of me showing receipts of a video of me showing receipts, where 4 months in advance we talked about the November eclipse and I fasted for 9 days consecutively. When I tell you guys like I am about it, I am about it. Okay, I'm not a lukewarm dip my toes in the water. Like I am dedicating my life to this craft. So here you go. Weather this storm. Yeah, dedicated my life to this. And then like as I'm talking about striking while the iron is hot. You have to understand that FTX is literally collapsing live during this stream. It went from 76% down to 80 or 82% down in the stream in a 15-minute stream. And I'm buying Bitcoin as it's happening, and I'm absolutely
Iron is hot while the iron is red.
So I don't want to hear it. Like all these people talking about nonsense. Like, bro, I will show my receipts, and we will say nana nana boo boo, stick your face in doo doo.
It's the bear market. I mean, not that we don't get hate during bull markets, but
I feel like you got more hate.
yeah, I mean, how much does it how enjoyable is it to be less bullish when things are up than everyone else, than not everyone else, than most people, and then here we are. I'm more of a bull than most people.
Yeah,
and that's not what gets you views and followers. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I mean, there's I won't name names, but there was a guy who mega bull during the bull market, and all throughout 2023 he was insisting that Bitcoin was absolutely going to $12,000 the entire year. He was doing that
in the bear market.
In the bear market, I mean, like, 2023 was a more of a crab market, upward moving crab market. And then we got to 2024, and he's like, LCX is going to $50. I kind of gave him away there, but
yeah, no, that's the thing. And my thing is, I made a video about this, or like a live stream. It's like, you should make your own investment thesis. I'm not here to like tell you what to do. I'm not here to influence you or tell you any of that. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And like, here's my track record. Do with that information what you will. But if you want to listen to somebody, look at the worst possible dates and what was this creator saying around this time frame. Give him a week or a month to change his mind, But if a creator is not making videos around the most eventful things in the history, that should be a red flag for you. It means one of two things: they're going to leave you astray, or even worse, which is really malicious, is they delete videos. And I know for a fact of a creator who has done that. You call the top what a great business model of calling the top every single week and then just deleting the ones that were wrong, and then be like, nana boo boo, stick your face in doo doo. Like, what a great business model. And I stand, and I know Alex stands, like, low key, not even low key. Alex was right the whole time in 2025. Okay. So I stand by my track record, the whole totality, when I'm right, when I'm wrong, everything. And all my videos are up. I'm not deleting any videos. You can go back and look at all of them. And Alex is the same thing. Like, do we have every single call ever possible correct? No, but are we in the right flavor more times than we're not? I think yes. And I think that Alex, probably the best thing about our show is, like, Alex in a lot of ways gets more bearish. I think he's better at calling, topping structures, and I'm better at calling bottoming structures, but both of us are bullish right now. And both of us are open-minded that it could go lower, but we don't really care.
Yes. Okay. 100% willing to talk about crypto. The reason why I even mentioned the person whose name I'm not going to name is look at how many, like, he has way more followers than both of us, because he says what people want to hear.
Right.
We're not going to promise you that you say that we're going to say what you want to hear. And I think a lot of people don't want to hear that we're closer to the bottom than what they want. They want to hear by in October.
Yeah.
Unless they're still bag holding, they don't want to hear that. But
people
I was
going to
say something else.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember what I was going to say. So say what you're going to say.
People are saying the inflows are really strong right now, which makes sense. Like, the volume is super high. And then also, people are saying in the comments, do you think that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin this cycle? I do. And I'm the biggest Ethereum hater known to man.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm processing that right now. I don't know. It makes sense to me. You know, Ethereum underperformed. Bitcoin put in new all-time highs.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum just did you could call it a triple top, I guess. No, a double top, excuse me. So, sure.
I think they both go into price discovery.
Yeah.
Which is somewhere between 7,000 to 12,000 for Ethereum, and somewhere between 160 to like 290 for Bitcoin. And if you just do ROI, that's about a 5x on Ethereum if it's a full extension, and it's about a 4x on Bitcoin if it's a full extension. But I think, you could make the case that this is just a huge accumulation, the same thing that like XRP did. This never went into price discovery. This is just like a, kind of a retrace. This is still accumulation to me. And look at the volume, like really picking up, like it's on an uptrend. It's not even that
Yeah.
it's just like picking up. It's like this is on an uptrend.
Yeah.
It's rapidly picking up more and more, which is like a really good sign. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. And then like you gotta have to like understand too, like when you see this volume over here on Bitcoin, maybe not on Coinbase, but like if you look on a Binance chart, you'll see the volume. There's a lot of like funny business that was going on there. So you have to kind of keep the old 2021 volume. You have to use it with like kind of a grain of salt a little bit, I think, because they were manipulating volume in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Hey, I want to call somebody out. Chasing the Milk. I love your stuff, man. He's I don't know what astronomer looks into the star, looks at the stars. It's awesome. I'm sorry for butchering what you do, but Chasing the Milk, we have talked about XRP. We both think it's bottom. That's the one that if you force me, like, do I think that this cryptocurrency, if my life depended on it, has this cryptocurrency bottomed? I would say XRP has bottomed. But I mean, the thing with XRP, astronomy. Okay, cool. The thing with XRP though is like, I mean, look at what it does in bear markets. It just chops.
Right.
I'm not expecting XRP to go to $10 in 2026. I think it's going to be really boring for XRP, and then out of nowhere, when people are most wanting to sell it to buy into something else that's scorching hot,
Yeah.
That's when it's going to explode.
XRP is the king of boring until it's not.
Yeah.
I'll say, for me personally, I have, XRP was one of my biggest holdings outside of Bitcoin in 2022 all the way up until 2025. And that's where I publicly sold.
Yeah.
January of 2025, I sold at $3.33 and bought my farm. I've said the whole time I have absolutely no interest in buying XRP, absolutely none. Until we get back into the $30s. And we got there and I started buying again. So I bought a big chunk when we flash crashed on the 5th, I believe it was. I bought about $1.20 average price. And then I started 2 days ago, started DCAing every single day. Bitcoin is the biggest part of my DCA, but XRP is probably the second biggest.
Yeah. Yeah. I have nothing to add to that on XRP. I'm just kind of trying to look around here. I mean, there's still a ton of cryptos, guys, even though like there's a lot of cryptos I would not touch. What I think would happen, like somebody brought up Dogecoin. I believe Doge will outperform Bitcoin this cycle. I think so. But Doge is a classic example of just like Dogecoin, and a lot of meme coins will do this. Dogecoin will just be flat until right around the time that Bitcoin crosses its previous all-time high, previous cycle top, and then it'll pump really hard.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable not touching Dogecoin until Bitcoin's at $100,000.
H bar second largest. I don't mind accumulating H bar here,
Yeah.
actually. I think, that I've said that a lot. Like HBAR is kind of my darling in a lot of ways, and it was the one that made me learn tokenomics the hard way. But a lot of their stuff is past tense, and I think that they will perform well. And I think it's a real project.
Yeah.
Someone said, oh yeah, what's your guys' thoughts on Monero? For me personally, Monero is a cooler project than it is an investment.
Mm. What's your thoughts on that? This is news to me.
It's just like, like the idea of what the most vile hater that we have together, the
Yeah.
nastiest of them all. The one thing that I agree with what he says is he says that like XR or Monero is what Bitcoin wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. Like you can transact with people and, like you have your privacy. And I think that that's really an important fundamental thing of, freedom, which is that's what I am. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm a freedom maximalist.
Yeah.
I believe in freedom and sovereignty. And so like I think Monero, as far as that goes, is really cool. As far as an investment, it's going to be hard. And it already did it too. Like it went into price discovery, which is cool. It has great tokenomics like Bitcoin and stuff,
Yeah.
but like there is a real active measurement of not, propping up Monero, because that one really could, do some damage as far as like with Bitcoin. If you transact with Bitcoin, all your transactions are verifiable. Anyone can see it at any time. It's not that way with Monero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It uses the onion and all that stuff. So I think there's a real active effort by the institutions to make sure that that doesn't become the main thing. And it's why it's so difficult to buy. Like it's not on any main exchanges in a lot of ways. It's really difficult to buy. So, and it's I think that will be kind of a roadblock for it. Is like it directly threatens the big players in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. But I think it's a great project. It's just in like what it's doing is cool, but like for an investment, I don't think so. ROI perspective. But I mean, you could have some.
I mean, I like Monero. I don't like it now.
Right.
It went vertical in January. Less than a little more than a month ago. So now I think, if you bought Monero throughout that bear market throughout 2023 and 2024, then you did amazing. Now I'm waiting for a repeat of 2023 and 2024, which is a long, boring chop, and then I'll buy.
Black market uses Monero and they used to use Bitcoin. Yeah, that's what I say all the time. Like people say criminals use Bitcoin, and I say the dumb ones do, because every single transaction is traceable forever. Yeah. Thoughts on Sui? I'm not a Sui guy, but I think the value is pretty good. Never ever did I get more hate in my life when I said that the top of Sui was in. I think it's in accumulation at this point. I think that the value is probably all right, but it has a little bit too much inflation for me personally.
Yeah.
But I think it's working on accumulation.
So Sui, people use Sui. I want cryptos that people use. The issue is the inflation. So I mean, it can go down more, it can bleed more. At some point, after seeing more of accumulation, because it's only really been, it bottomed out 2 weeks ago, hit some new lows, and it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I'd wait on Sui. Same for Ondo. Lots of people ask about Ondo. Same deal. It's just any of those newer utility cryptos, I'd wait on them.
Yeah. Especially the ones with lots of inflation. You could just wait for Bitcoin to change the direction, and then you could be more aggressive about.
Yeah.
I think you should have your meat and potatoes be the bigger players for a little while if you're going to make a stab. Like 50% of my DCA is Bitcoin, and I absolutely know it's not going to be the highest ROI. I know for a fact. but 50% of my DCA is Bitcoin right now. U.S. State Department has advised all U.S. citizens to leave Israel today. We know what that means this weekend. Very well could be. Like, listen, the lunar eclipse, we're talking about the astrology guy. I didn't remember his name.
Astronomy.
Like,
There's a huge
astronomy.
difference. Oh, man. Keep going.
It's the 3rd. Like, if we're
Yeah.
going to get a crazy event, I really think it's going to be in the next week or so. And then that's it. Like, what if we have a big event happen? That's it to me. Like, that's what I will
Yeah.
be not doing a 1% DCA. I'll be doing a 15, 20% DCA.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, we've been in this boat before, man. It's like, oh no, war, sell everything. And then that ends up being the bottom.
Right. Like, it's the most disgusting thing. And we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times, but war is good for the economy. Like, I wish that weren't true because there's nothing more evil, but it just is. It just is.
March 3rd, blood moon.
That's right.
All right. So you know about that. Okay.
Yep.
I don't, yeah. Blood moon. What's a blood moon? Is that like twice a month or something?
I don't know what the technical definition,
All
but
right.
a blood moon on the lunar eclipse, for reference, 2022, FTX went to 0 on the blood moon.
Okay. All right.
Luna went to 0 on the lunar eclipse.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rarely happens. Yeah. It rarely does happen. I think it happens, there's not another lunar eclipse until 2029. Like, I find the timing of that crazy, because as long as Alex has known me, he's known that my thesis is 2029 is the big one.
Yeah.
FTX went 0 on the last blood moon. We have the last lunar eclipse blood moon until, like, it's about to happen in a week. That's the last one until 2029. And I find the timing with the structure of how crypto's looking, with the volume that's coming in, with the sentiment where it's at, I find the timing of it all impeccable. Very, very impeccable. So is it which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? I have no idea, but it keeps working. That's what I know. And I'm not a witch. I'm just reporting data.
Yeah. I die inside when we talk about stuff like this, but I'm at least willing to acknowledge that there's enough people paying attention to it, to moon cycles, that it can be something. And I'll repeat, my wife's cousin. Yeah, I know. My wife's cousin is a nurse, and she says when there's full moons,
yep, 100%.
every time weird things happen.
Yep.
In her hospital, wherever she works. So
any farm, by the way, listen, here, you don't have to be a witch. Check it out. Here's the most practical way to think about it. You're here today because a farmer in your bloodline figured it out 1,000 years ago that the moon has something to do, and they planted their crops and there's literally a harvest moon where we harvested all of our crops. So listen, I'm not a witch. I'm just reporting data. That's it.
There we go.
Yeah, that's true. Watch full moons and the alignment of plants. Listen, I'm a farmer. I plant my crops around the moon too.
Are you guys buying silver? No.
Nope.
No, but the reason why I want to bring that up is because I'm curious about, if you pull up my chart, silver, I've been wondering if this was going to happen. It looks like it will. Silver will maybe, what if we see a 618 or a 702?
I think it will happen.
Yeah. And then that, dare I say, maybe I'll buy some puts on the silver ETF or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not touching silver until we're back into the 50s.
Yeah.
Silver was one of my bigger overall portfolios. Silver is my favorite asset to buy, like as a pure hobby. It's my favorite thing to buy. I sold 100% of my silver. I sold a big chunk at 78 and I sold a big chunk at 107. I think we probably will retrace to the 618. Where is my silver chart? I think we probably will retrace to that 618, 702, whatever the case may be, And if you're a silver holder, I think that that's a really good opportunity to de-risk.
Yeah.
Because if you are sitting here with a straight face and you look at silver in a week go from 121 to $62 and you think that that's just normal, no, it is not. No, it is not. And silver very, or XRP, I guess you could say, very much trades like silver. In that you just have these long, boring time frames, and then it goes parabolic, and everyone thinks it's there's all this, but they need all the minerals for blah blah blah, and then that's it.
AI data centers, they use silver.
Yeah, like whatever, it doesn't matter. There's inflation on silver too. In fact, it's 4.5%. Silver has a perfect uh, economics 101 where the more that the demand goes up, the more the people mine it, the more the people mine it, the more supply there is. The more supply there is, the demand goes down. And it's just like it has a perfect balance with itself. So $99, $98, 103, whatever the case may be. Do what you want to do. But if I was still holding silver, that would be where I would be looking to get out, because again, people think that this is normal for silver. No, it's not.
Miss Pay-Per-View. You are talking, you're I don't know. I'm gonna say this is an emotional response from you. I know, no, I'm not being emotional. Okay. Let me read some comments. No physical silver. No, I was talking about buying a put on silver. That means betting against it, shorting it. I don't think we're going back to the 50s. We'll see you at the 50s. We both love silver. I was a silver bug from 2011. I still love silver. That's my baptism into this kind of price action.
Yep.
Is I bought the peak in 2011, and I never fell out of love of silver, even though I bought the peak in 2011. I know silver very well. I know the arguments, the usage arguments, the scarcity arguments, all of that. I know it. I know it all. We will see you in the 50s.
Real life inflation on silver, not paper silver, real life inflation on real silver, aka what they find in the earth versus the total supply, is 4.5% per year.
Like Dogecoin.
Right.
Sorry to compare it to Dogecoin. That's I don't, whatever, but
listen, I stacked silver for 8 consecutive years. Silver is it's my favorite asset. Like, I have land, I have real estate, I have Bitcoin, I have cryptocurrency, I have life insurance, I have stocks. I promise you, silver is my favorite one to buy. From a personal standpoint, I have no interest in buying it until we get back into the 50s. Maybe I'll take a look at in the 60s. Maybe we fill this wick out and that's it. And like, I probably think it's going to rock and roll into 2029 too, but I think that this is crazy. When you see this what this is right here. This is 1010. This is a warning sign here that there's something happening that is not normal. There's an imbalance here, that is not normal. Do you think we'll experience alt season this year?
No. You might say, yeah, you probably say yes to that, right?
I think the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin.
There we go. I'm on board with that. Definitely.
Is our wildest dreams going to come true? Hopefully, but expect the worst and hope for the best. I think that they will. I think Ethereum, XRP, all that stuff will outperform Bitcoin, though. Yeah, and I think that Bitcoin dominance does look really weak. And I think, dare I say, the Russell, it's kind of chopping. It's almost distributing, though, but this needs to continue here. So that's kind of deviating. This might be the distribution, though. We'll see. ADA, I think ADA is a good buy.
Can't go all that much lower.
Right. I think it's a good accumulation. How about gold? Gold is not as volatile as silver. I don't think it's a good investment right now. But I think you get more of a traditional distribution. Let me just show it to you like this. Like, it's not like silver is this new commodity. Like, we have history of how it behaves. And if you're watching on TikTok, you can watch us on other perhaps some people that look like us that are not us for sure, whatever you do, don't leave TikTok and go to YouTube and search at Yaboyskey or search at World War Bitcoin, because you certainly couldn't see our charts or anything like that. Whatever you do, do not leave the TikTok platform. You hear that, big brother? I'm telling them to stay. But yeah, it's not like silver has this history of just going into this nice rounded distribution to give you all this time to exit. No, what silver does is it trades forever and then it goes parabolic. Like this is it looks like a meme coin. It's not, it's my favorite thing to buy, but it looks like a meme coin. And then it's just death. That's it. So for perspective, in 1979, silver went from $48. It just now took that out. It dropped 91%. 91%. Do you understand? Like, and then the same thing. It doesn't give you this long distribution. It went up parabolic, beautiful, like, and then guess what? We dropped 75%. So
I just pulled a fib chart on silver in 2011 when it got up to $50. And the next week it dumped down to 32. And then wouldn't you know it, it did a 702 retrace and then dumped further.
Yeah. So around the $100, you know, I would strongly do whatever your rank can handle, but I would strongly consider de-risking silver at $100. But gold, on the other hand, I don't think it's a great, you know, investment, so to speak, but it's super hot. But it typically gives you more of a distribution than silver. Like it typically gives you like this rounded, I don't know what's up with my chart here, but it typically gives you this rounded top, not this wick blow off top like silver. So, you know, I don't think it's a great investment or a great value right now, but I don't think it's going to do like a blow off top, you know, off to back to 2K or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think gold is a really good preservation of wealth, but it's not a, you know, investment.
I've heard it all, Miss Pay-Per-View. I'm telling you. I'm just sorry.
If ETH goes to 12K, we're gonna go absolutely rocket. Yeah, I think so. Like rising tides would floats all ships for sure. Yeah, that would be good for the market. Thoughts on CFG? I have no thoughts on CFG.
What is CFG?
Yeah, I don't know.
Centrifuge? I think that's what it is. Yeah. No thoughts.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on CFG. That's my thoughts. Don't forget, if Bitcoin goes under, yep, I have not forgot, Mark. If Bitcoin closes a daily body under 50K, I will shave my head, shave my beard, and give away $500. I have not forgot.
Wow.
Not a wick, a daily body.
Don't forget.
I have not forgot.
Yaboyskey. We fill that wick. I know the comments I'm going to be getting. Oh, Ski's going to have to shave his head.
I'll give away $500 too. People are like, oh, Ski just wants to shave his beard. I'm like, no, I don't. Or they said Ski's wife doesn't like his beard. Maybe, but she likes my hair and she likes $500. So I had to make it more. How long do you think crypto will be down? I plan to be 100% allocated by April. So
yeah, that
should tell you something. Not very long.
Are we in the bear market? Nobody's asked that question, but like, I just want to address that. Bear market. I think when people ask that question, they're thinking like, okay, I'll stay away.
Right.
Bear market equals buy. Bull market equals sell. But a lot of people have that flipped. So It doesn't matter if we're in the bear market.
We have been in a downtrend since October.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a retrace. People are comparing. And by the way, too, like here, and I know that you have respect too. I'll say this, like blockchain backer. Guess what? He called the top. He's been bearish the whole time. He was
Yeah.
bullish in 2022. I have no more respect for any other TA person than the blockchain backer. I hold him to the highest degree. He is buying right now. He's doing something similar to me. So
the frustrating thing about that when he like he pivoted in a major way, because he was calling for XRP to go to $8-9, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I see these bearish divergences showing on Bitcoin, which like those bearish divergences were very easily visible. And I have nothing but love for the blockchain backer too, but that particular aspect of how he pivoted was really frustrating. When I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the stuff that he was looking at was very easily, you could see it. I think he pivoted for an entirely different reason, but I don't know why.
Yeah. I think it had to do with a lot of the bearish divergences that were showing up. But the point is he is allocating all of his capital that that he sold. And that should tell you. I think he's actually better at more akin to me of like calling bottoms than he is at calling tops, because he missed I think he was skittish from 2021 because he missed the top in 2021. And so he was really like making sure that didn't happen again.
Yeah.
I'll probably be the same way, honestly. Because I got sucked into a lot of it too. Like I remember distinctly, like I stuck to my plan with XRP. I didn't stick as much with Bitcoin. I had 118K target. I did take profit there, but I didn't take as much as I had originally planned. And that was a mistake. That was a mistake. So I'll probably be the same way in 2020 whatever. You change your mind work. I love you guys do the same thing. You change your mind about work Bitcoin is going. I haven't changed my mind once. And well, I have, but like, I mean, I've had the same opinion for a while.
Yeah, I've been pretty consistent. I don't know where you're getting the changing the mind, but even if we did,
it'd be weird not to.
I will change my mind.
Yeah.
I will change my, like, so I remember when things were looking pretty weak at the peak, I had my two lines in the sand, and the bottom line was the 50-week moving average. As soon as we lost the 50-week moving average, I was like, okay, we have peaked.
Yeah.
It's like, I have my perspective. Sure. I think if we go higher at the day of the peak, I will think we're going higher, because there's very few signs that hey, this right now, this moment, $126,000 Bitcoin, that's the peak. So no, yeah, whatever homeboy is saying.
Yeah, no, it's fine. People want us to hold their hand, and like, here's what I figured out. Even when you call the top on something, or even when you call the bottom on something, if it's not the absolute wick low,
yeah,
people will just be pissed.
Yeah.
If it's not the wick high, people are going to be pissed. So it's like, at this point, just make your own investment thesis. I'm telling you what I'm doing. That's it. Are equities worth holding leaps for? Still,
Photonics. What's photonics?
I don't know. I thought it was a question for you. I thought it was a question for you.
Okay. All right.
All
right. Well, I'll just say a random thing, and then I'm about ready. But
oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. I got a $900 electricity bill recently, so I've been doing a lot of research into that, and I'm pretty sure that things are going to get a decent amount worse for our electricity bills, especially if you live in a place where it gets like overly cold. I got a ton of snow where I live. And I've been thinking a lot about that. I mean, so here's an area I'm exploring. I have no recommendations. Definitely don't have any financial advice, but I'm exploring solar power as an investment area and as a personal just I have an incentive to look into that now that I haven't had before. Because if it costs $20,000 to put solar panels on my roof, when my electricity bill was $200 a month, that's 100 months of waiting until a break even point. At $900 a month, that's like, not that it would be, my bill will be $900 a month, but like, it's like all of a sudden I have an incentive that wasn't there before. So this is early stages of looking into solar as a potential growth area. Any recommendations? Send me a message, or any thoughts on that? Send me a message or
I
something.
have thoughts on that because I've been
Okay.
experimenting with solar for a while. So I don't think it's worth it to have someone come and do it
Oh,
necessarily.
but do it
But
yourself?
yes, I think it's maybe not for your I don't think it's as crazy like as you would think. So like I tried to research about solar, and I just could not wrap my brain around the math. And then finally, like I just bought some 400-watt panels, and people just sell them on Facebook. Like you can buy them from farmers for like I think I bought two 400-watt panels for 400 or for $180. And if you do the math on what your kilowatts would need, like it's pretty daggone cheap to get a whole system. Like you could get one for a few grand, and then you need your
Wow.
wire rigs and stuff like that. You wouldn't have to, you know. Um, but once I started messing with it, the point is like once I started getting the wires, started messing with it, and then I have this like EcoFlow, which you can plug the panels into, and it has like it's a battery bank and an inverter all in one thing. And once I started wiring them up and like messing with it, I was like, oh, this is so easy. This is so simple. Like,
Hmm.
but I just could not wrap my brain around it until I actually started messing with it. So that's my thoughts on that. But I think it's like it's stupid cheap to get all the panels that you need for a whole system for your whole house. Like it's very, very, very cheap. Ridiculous, especially if you use like secondhand market and
Yeah.
because like I mean they make a good living like going door to door and selling people that sort of stuff. But realistically, like what happens is fundamentally is like farmers have to keep spending money, or like businesses have to keep spending money so that they have tax write-offs so that they don't pay taxes. So they have these like panels that they use for a couple years, and then they're still good for like another 30-40 years. So you
Interesting.
can get really cheap ones like the iPhone 16 or iPhone 15 basically is like of solar panels. You can get really, really cheap. um like I said, I got the two on Marketplace, and she had like a whole pallet of them. Like just her whole garage was just full of pallets of solar panels. And I got that for $180 for two of them. So that's like,
Wow.
yeah, no, it's insane. Like it's so much cheaper because I've been looking into it for a while. It's insane how much cheaper it's gotten. And I think definitely like, yeah, it's the way to go. I think for sure.
All right. I'm gonna look into that more.
Yeah, like you could do like there's ways you could do it where you could like get all the panels, maybe you could hire someone to wire it into your grid, uh, something like that, or like you could build a rack on your roof, or it's not as cheap as like, the I think if it's just a lot more expensive if you do like a cookie cutter like box brand that, does the whole thing for you. They're going to upcharge you a lot, but
Sure.
maybe it's worth it for your time and energy, but um I think it's definitely worth it as far as like personal. I don't know about like a stock investment, but personal, I think it definitely is a good investment.
All right.
All right. Well, that is going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We'll never, ever, never, never message you first. Those are scammers. For the love of God, don't get scammed. Any closing thoughts?
Hey, I'm back on my main account on YouTube. So, which I'm live on. So hit the follow there, and hey, follow. Yeah, here's a thought. Follow me on both accounts. I'm keeping my backup account open. What I'm doing with that account is all my TA videos. With my main account, I'm doing a lot more in-depth, maybe 5-minute videos, just really showing a lot of charts and stuff. A lot of like not technical analysis charts, but not charts you find on TradingView, but like, you know, other things, economic things and things like that. So WWBTC5 on TikTok, World War Bitcoin on TikTok. Those are the 2 accounts.
Yeah, someone says contact your local electrician. That's what I would do too. Like find a guy. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I have both my accounts at Yaboyskey, at Skis Crypto. That's gonna be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.